Gratitude is one of the most important and underestimated leadership skills in today's workplace. Yet it can shift perspective, boost morale, and strengthen performance. In environments driven by targets, timelines, and outcomes, leaders often overlook the human need to feel valued. Gratitude restores balance by reminding people that progress matters, effort counts, and contributions are recognized. Welcome to Coaching Talks, folks. I'm Richard Fontanie, and this podcast is designed to support leaders, managers, and professionals seeking practical tools for learning and growth in real-world marketplace settings. And today, we're talking about the power of gratitude and how it helps leaders build positivity and perspective. Now, before we go any further, please take a moment to subscribe or follow the podcast so you don't miss future conversations based on leadership, development, and workplace success. Oh, and don't forget to listen to our other podcasts, Speaking from the Heart and Affiliate Marketing Secrets. You'll find them right here. Now, let's get going with today's topic, gratitude at work, a leadership skill that changes everything. Gratitude in leadership is not about constant praise or lowering standards. It is about recognition with meaning. When leaders practice gratitude, they communicate respect and awareness. They help teams see the bigger picture, especially during pressure or during times of change. And gratitude allows leaders to acknowledge challenges while still affirming progress and commitment. Now, one of the first ways gratitude fosters positivity is by shifting focus from problems to possibilities. Every workplace faces obstacles, but leaders set the emotional tone. When leaders consistently acknowledge what is working, teams feel encouraged rather than defeated. This does not ignore issues. It provides the emotional energy needed to address them constructively. And gratitude also strengthens perspective during difficult times. For instance, during periods of restructuring, heavy workloads, or uncertainty, people can lose sight of their purpose. Leaders who express gratitude help teams remember why their work matters. Perspective reduces burnout by nurturing a sense of connection to something larger than immediate day-to-day stress. Now let's take a look at 5 strategies that help leaders improve gratitude. And the first leadership strategy is intentional recognition. Now this means noticing specific actions and naming them clearly. Generic appreciation feels transactional, while intentional gratitude feels authentic. When leaders thank employees for concrete contributions, employees understand that their efforts have impact. Now, this strengthens trust and strengthens engagement. But as Rex Tillerson once said, quote, "Just remember that a pat on the back is only 18 inches from the kick in the behind," end of quote. So separate your thank you from performance issues. Give credit where credit is due, and address the issues in private, away from the team. The second strategy is modeling gratitude under pressure. Now, teams observe how leaders respond to stress. When leaders stay appreciative despite uncertain outcomes, they demonstrate emotional maturity. And gratitude in challenging moments reassures teams that effort is valued and not only the results. And this fosters psychological safety, particularly psychological safety in the workplace. Now, the third leadership strategy is embedding gratitude into normal routines. Now, gratitude does not require formal programs. It can be woven into meetings, check-ins, and project reviews. Simple practices, such as acknowledging breakthroughs or lessons learned, reinforce positivity. Over time, gratitude becomes part of how the team operates. The fourth leadership strategy is to use gratitude to reframe setbacks. When projects fail or goals are missed, leaders can guide reflection with gratitude. Asking what was learned or who stepped up shifts the narrative. This perspective fosters growth rather than blame. In such cases, teams become more resilient and adaptive. Now, the fifth leadership strategy is encouraging peer-to-peer gratitude. Leadership is amplified when appreciation flows across teams. When leaders invite team members to recognize one another, collaboration, cooperation, and communication improves. Gratitude becomes shared ownership rather than top-down communication. It is one of the secrets to a healthy workplace. Now, consider a manager leading a team through a high-pressure deadline. Instead of focusing solely on delays, she acknowledged the extra hours people put in and the creativity they showed in problem solving. Morale improved and productivity increased. The deadline was still demanding, but gratitude kept the team engaged rather than discouraged. In another organization, a supervisor began ending weekly meetings with one question: what are we grateful for this week? At first, responses were hesitant, but over time, participation increased. Team members became more aware of progress and support. The perspective shifted from constant urgency to steady momentum. Now, gratitude also strengthens leadership credibility. Employees trust leaders who see them as people, not just resources. In other words, they are not cogs in a wheel. They are human with all that entails. Gratitude signals that leaders are paying attention, and that builds loyalty and improves engagement. People are more willing to go the extra mile when they feel respected and appreciated. From a learning perspective, gratitude supports a growth mindset. When leaders appreciate effort and improvement, employees feel safer to experiment and to learn. Mistakes become opportunities rather than threats. And this perspective encourages innovation and continuous development. Rather than fear, positivity is encouraged. In traditional workplace learning environments, gratitude improves participation and retention. Trainers, facilitators, and leaders of all walks of life who express appreciation for contributions create inclusive learning spaces. Participants are more engaged and willing to share insights. Gratitude reinforces the value of learning itself. Gratitude also helps leaders manage their own stress. Leadership can be isolating. As the saying goes, it's lonely at the top. When leaders practice gratitude, and they practice gratitude deliberately, they maintain perspective on their responsibilities. Acknowledging support, progress, and purpose reduces their emotional fatigue, enabling them to show up more consistently to their teams. One senior leader shared the beginning each day by having 3 things identified for appreciation. He became more patient, more observant, and more supportive. And his team noticed the shift, and communication and cooperation improved. Gratitude transforms not only outcomes, but also relationships. Gratitude does not remove accountability, however. High standards, appreciation can coexist. And in fact, gratitude strengthens accountability because people feel invested rather than pressured. When expectations are paired with appreciation, performance naturally improves. Now, as you reflect on your leadership role, consider the following questions. Where could gratitude improve morale within your team? How might perspective shift if effort were recognized more consistently? What routines could you adjust to embed gratitude into daily leadership practice? Now, this week's call to action is practical. Choose one leadership interaction each day to express specific gratitude. Notice the response and the shift in energy. And over time, observe how perspective, positivity, and performance evolve. The power of gratitude lies in its simplicity and its consistency. When leaders practice gratitude intentionally, they shape culture, strengthen perspective, and build workplaces where people can thrive. Gratitude is not a soft skill. It is a strategic leadership choice with lasting impact. Now, thank you for listening to the Coaching Talks podcast. I will see you next Wednesday when I'll talk about why leaders need to protect their time and energy. I hope you can join us. I'm Richard Fontanie signing off for now. See you next week. Bye now.